Namaste to all students. Kusha Bidya, myself JB and Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we are going to discuss about plasma membrane structure. And this session is related to cell biology course of program BTech FPT and BSc FST second sem. So first of all, you have to know about the overview about the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is the boundary that separates the living cells from its surroundings, and the plasma membrane acts as a selective permeable membrane, allowing some substrates to cross it more easily than others, and for some molecules it is resistible. In 1972, Jonathan Singer and Graf Nicholson proposed the fluid mosaic model, which is now the most accepted model to understand the theory uh, regarding the structure of the plasma membrane. All the plasma membrane contains two major components. First one is protein and second one is lipid. Carbohydrates are also present in the plasma membrane, and the ratio of the carbohydrate is approximately 5 to 10%. Now come to the protein ratio to the lipid varies depend on the type of the cell. If you are talking about the RBC red blood cells, so lipid concentration will be 43% and protein will be 49%. On the other hand, if you are talking about the mouse liver cells, so lipid concentration will be higher in comparison to protein, means lipid will be 54% and proteins will be 46%. Now come to the types of the lipids. So phospholipids are the most abundant lipid in the plasma membrane, and if you are talking about the nature of the phospholipids, so phospholipids are amphipathic molecules. They are having dual nature. They are hydrophobic as well as hydrophilic in nature. Now, what is hydrophobic and hydrophilic reasons? So, if any component is not able to interact with the water, they hate the water or they repel from the water molecules. So, these kind of reasons are known as hydrophobic, means they are having a phobia with the H2O molecules. On the other hand, hydrophilic nature means if any region attracts towards the water molecules, so that region known as hydrophilic, means they are water lover. Now come to the top theories related to the plasma membrane. So first theory was given by Hughes Davison and James Daniel in 1935. They gave the lamellar theory. They proposed a sandwich model in which the plasma membrane exhibit trilamellar structure, that is the phospholipid bilayer lies between the two layer of globular proteins. Here I am sharing the proposed diagram which was given by these two scientists in their lamellar theory, and they proposed the sandwich model. Here you can simply say this is the lipid bilayer structure, and again they showed the hydrophilic nature and hydrophobic group of the lipid. Hydrophobic regions are inwards the lipid bilayers, and these hydrophilic groups are arranged to the outside portion, and they are interacting with the water with the protein layer, and these are the proteins layer. So this arrangement is like that, like this is the sandwich model, and this is the first theory which was given in 1935, and after that next theory was unit membrane theory. It was given by the Robertson in 1959. He proposed the concept of the unit membrane. All the unit membranes consist of a bimolecular layer of the phospholipids covered by a layer of proteins. Phospholipid is the main part of the lipid, for example, lecithin and cephalin, etc. And the phospholipids are oriented with their fatty acid group towards each other, and their water soluble ends, means their hydrophilic regions facing outwards. And the next theory was micellar theory. It was given by the Hillier and Hoffman in 1963. They propose this theory, and according to them, the plasma membrane includes a mosaic of the globular subunits, means micelles, and which are closely packed together, having a central role of the lipid molecule with hydrophilic polar and with the proteins. Each lipid micelle measures about 40 to 70 angstrom in the diameter. Next theory was given by the Singer and Nicholson in 1972. It is the most accepted model for understanding the plasma membrane structure. It is fluid mosaic model. So they propose that the membrane is a quasi-fluid structure, means plasma membrane is not a solid structure, it is a quasi-fluid structure in which mosaic of the proteins disperse within the lipid layer, and it describes both the mosaic and arrangement of the proteins embedded throughout the lipid bilayer as well as the fluid movement of the lipids and protein alike. Here you can understand this fluid mosaic model by this diagrammatic representation, and here you can simply see this is the lipid bilayer, and these red color globules are the polar head region, hydrophilic head region of the phospholipid, and these are the fatty acid tail regions. These tails are hydrophobic in nature, that's why they are arranged inside of the lipid bilayer. And there are two types of the proteins present in the membrane. First one is the peripheral proteins, which are only arranged outside and inside of the cell, and they are not crossing the lipid bilayer. On the other hand, you can second type of the protein, which is integral protein. They are also known as transmembrane proteins. They will cross completely lipid bilayer, and they are involved in the transportation process of the cell. So this is the quasi-fluid mosaic model. Here you can simply see that lipid bilayer, phospholipid bilayer arrangement is present, where the hydrophilic head regions are interacting with the proteins and interacting with the other molecules along with water molecules. On the other hand, inside region is the hydrophobic tail region. They are not capable to interact with the water molecules, that's why they are arranged inside the lipid bilayer. And there are two types of the proteins arranged in this theory. And first one type of a protein is peripheral protein. They will not cross the lipid bilayer, they will only arrange inside and outside of the cell. On the other hand, second type is integral protein or transmembrane protein. They will cross the lipid bilayer, and they are involved in the transportation. Along with these all arrangements, there are some other extra components are attached to the protein. If carbohydrates are going to attach with the protein molecule, so this conjugated structure is known as glycoprotein. If carbohydrates are going to attach with the lipid molecule, lipid bilayer molecule, so this conjugated structure is known as glycolipid. And these are the carbohydrate, means sugar chain. Along with all these three components, cholesterol will also be present within the lipid bilayer. If you are talking about the animal cell, so cholesterol will be present. If you are talking about the plant cell, so stigma sterol will be present within the lipid bilayer. They are having dual nature. They maintain the quasi-fluid nature of the membrane, and it depends on the temperature of the membrane. If temperature is going too high, so these cholesterol molecule or sterol molecules will behave like they will try to make connection of all lipid bilayers molecules. If temperature is going to down, so they will create a barrier for the lipid bilayer molecules, so that the tight packaging will be avoided. So that's how these sterols will behave in a dual nature. It depends on the temperature. Temperature is going to high or low. So this is the most accepted model, which is fluid mosaic model. And If you are talking about that how scientists can discover the arrangement of the plasma membrane, or how you can interact with the molecule arrangements, so there is a very famous technique which has been used to visualize the distribution of the proteins in the membrane. This is freeze fracture technique. And basically in this, scientists use the knife which can clearly cut out the plasma membrane into two separate lipid layers. So here you can see the picture of inside and outside layer of the plasma membrane. Here freeze fracture technique behave like this, and they will separate the single layer of the phospholipid, and this is the outside of the layer and this is the inside of the layer, where we can simply find out the difference in between outside layer and inside layer. Inside of the layer is having more beads like structure, but in outside of the layer there is smooth lipid bilayer. What is the reason behind behind these bead present inside the layer? So basically the abundance of the integral proteins or peripheral proteins at the inside layer, creating these bead like structures. So this is the basic difference. And now come to the chemical constituents of the plasma membrane. So the basic structure of the plasma membrane is the phospholipid bilayer, and bilayer is composed of two leaflets of amphipathic phospholipid molecules. If you are talking about the phospholipid chemical composition, so it is made up by two regions. First one is a polar head region and second one is the non-polar tails, means fatty acid tails. And hydrophobic interactions are the main force to organize these lipid bilayer. So here I am showing the chemical structure of phospholipid. You can simply see this is the lipid bilayer, and in which hydrophobic tails are arranged inside the lipid bilayer, and these are the hydrophilic head regions which are interacting with the other molecules as well as with the water molecule. If you are just concentrating only on a one single phospholipid molecule, so you can simply see this is the hydrophilic head region, and these two are fatty acid tails which are hydrophobic in nature. And one more thing, one fatty acid tail will be linear, but in the second fatty acid tail you will find out a link, and which create a disarrangement in the fatty acid tail, and that's why it covers the more surface area. And this link also have important role in maintaining the fluid mosaic nature of the plasma membrane. Now come to the phospholipid types. First thing, lipids generally in the plasma membranes will be phospholipids, but there are many other types of the phospholipids. First one is the glycerophospholipids, which are most abundant, and they are most abundantly present in the plasma membrane. Second type is sphingophospholipid, and in the plasma membrane of the animal cell, they are containing four major phospholipids, like phosphatidylcholine, which is the most abundant glycerophospholipids, and phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylethanolamine, and sphingomyelin. Phosphatidylserine is having total negative charge, but all remaining three phospholipids like phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine, and sphingomyelins, they are not having any kind of a charge. Only phosphatidylserine will have negative charge on it. And in addition to the phospholipids, the plasma membrane also contain glycolipids and sterols. As I have already told you in my previous slide that if you are talking about the sterols, so in an animal cell, cholesterols are present and they are major sterols in the animal cells. But in case of a plant cell, stigma sterol will be present. And here you can simply see the structure of all four phospholipids. Here I am sharing the structure in detail. This one is the phospholipid phosphatidyl ethanolamine. These are two fatty acid tails, and this is the head region, polar head region. This is phosphatidyl serine, which is having total negative charge on it, and phosphatidyl choline, and this one is the sphingomyelin. Now come to the nature of the membrane. As I have already told you in my previous slides, like plasma membrane, according to the fluid mosaic model, it is not a solid structure, it is some kind of a quasi fluid nature. And So now in this slide we are going to discuss about the fluidity of the membrane. So motion of the lipid molecules are generally present in the plasma membrane. So phospholipids in the plasma membrane can move within the bilayer. Most of the lipids can rotate freely, and this kind of a rotation is known as rotational motion. Second one is a drift laterally, means it is also known as lateral movement and lateral motion. Next one is a flexion and bobbing, and rarely does a molecule flip-flop transversely across the membrane. It happens once per month and it requires enzyme activity. Flippase and floppase, these are the two enzymes which catalyze this reaction, and this reaction is ATP dehydrated energy dependent reaction, means it requires the energy. Without energy it can't be happen, and these are the two enzymes which are involved in this flip flop transverse movement. Here I am going to show the diagram which can make you more understand about the motions and movement of the membrane lipid. This is the lateral diffusion, means here it will go here and this molecule will go here, and this is the flexion. And rotation means they will rotate on their axis, and this one is the flip flop, means this molecule will move towards the next layer, and this one is the layer, and this is the bobbing, means molecule will jump like this. As temperature cools, membranes switch from a fluid state to the solid state, because temperature is going to down, so molecules will come close together and they will interact more. So the temperature at which a membrane solidifies or start to solidify, it depends on the types of the membrane lipids. If membrane rich in unsaturated fatty acids, means the fatty acid tails are having more double bond and triple bond, so that ning of one fatty acid tail will be more, and that's why it will cover the more surface area. So if membrane rich in unsaturated fatty acid tails are more fluid than those rich in the saturated fatty acids, means if any cell membrane phospholipid is having double bond or triple bond more, so ning will be more, and that's why it will cover the more surface area, and two phospholipid molecules will not interact more with each other. That's why it will become the fluid more fluid than those rich in the saturated fatty acids tail, because membranes which are having saturated fatty acid tails, they will not have any kind of a ning. So two lipid molecules will interact more with each other in these kind of a cells, and that's why fluid nature will be lesser in comparison to unsaturated fatty acids. And membranes must be fluid to work properly. This is the requirement for the membrane to be fluid in nature, and they are usually about as a fluid as a solid oil. And fluidity of the lipid bilayer is also depend on mainly chain length and the degree of the saturation of the fatty acid residue. Means fluidity will be more if chain length will be lower, and the degree of the saturation will also be lower. Means fluidity is reversible proportional to the chain length and the degree of the saturation. And short chain length and more unsaturation, it creates a fluidity at low temperature. And the steroid cholesterol has dual nature on membrane fluidity at different temperature. At the warm temperature such as 37-degree temperature, cholesterol restrain the movement of the phospholipids, but on the other hand, at cool temperature it maintains the fluidity by preventing tight packaging. Here you can understand the nature of the fluidity, um, about the fluidity of the plasma membrane. You can understand by this diagrammatic difference. Here you can simply see in the first example, which is having unsaturated fatty acid tails, and means they are having phospholipids which are having more unsaturation. So it will create a more gap in between two phospholipids, so that maintains the fluidity of the plasma membrane. On the other hand, if phospholipids are having saturated hydrocarbon tails, so they will interact more. So that's why fluidity will be lesser and the plasma membrane will behave like a viscous. On the other hand, if you are talking about the cholesterol, so cholesterol within the cell, animal cell membrane, they behave dual in the nature. If temperature is going to high, so they will maintain the interaction in between nearby phospholipid molecules. On the other hand, if temperature is going to down, so they it will behave like a barrier in between phospholipid molecules. Now come to the membrane proteins and their functions in the transport. So a membrane is a collage of the different proteins, often grouped together and embedded in the fluid matrix of the lipid bilayer. There are two types of the protein. First one is the peripheral protein. They will not cross the lipid bilayer. They will be arranged on the surface of the membrane. Examples are the spectrin and the ankyrin in the RBC. On the other hand, second type is integral protein. They penetrate the hydrophobic core of the lipid bilayer, and they are also involved in the transportation process of the cell membrane. And integral proteins that span the membrane are called transmembrane proteins. For example, glycoporine, band 3 proteins, or chloride bicarbonate exchanger. And the hydrophobic regions of an integral protein consist of one or more stretches of non-polar amino acids, often coiled into alpha helix. Here you can simply see the two types of proteins. This is the peripheral protein. They will not cross the lipid bilayer. On the other hand, this is the integral protein. They will penetrate the lipid bilayer and basically hydrophobic core region of the lipid bilayer. So this is the sum up of this session, and in this session you have understand about the plasma membrane structure, main top theories of plasma membrane, which can explain better about the plasma membrane structure and their fluidity nature. And you also have understand about the types of the lipids present in the lipid bilayer. You have understand about the proteins type, peripheral and integral protein. So this is the sum up of this session, and this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.